Good job, 2 minutes. So remote students, at this time, you should be having your paint supplies up and ready. Good morning. Let me know if you have questions during this time about your painting. All right. All right, 1 minute. So guys, while I am demonstrating, I do want you to stop painting to look at the demonstration because it's going to be quick, but it's going to be very informational for where you are right now in your painting, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the camera for the paints. Hopefully, let's come through. Battery got low on me. Let's see. That's fine. Well, maybe it'll come through in a second. We're going to give it 1 minute. If not, we're just going to take it away. Let's redo it. So let's go over little house rules while we are getting ourselves set up with our paint. Everyone that is remote students, and that is you all that are in class right now. So each of us, there we go. Each of us at this time have our paint set up. As you can see here on the board, you should have all of your paint set up that you're using. Now, the colors, split complementary colors that you are using should be available right there on Google Classroom. I'm sure most of you have already used it. This is week 3, ending our wildlife painting. What 2 things are we looking for? We're looking for if you have your wildlife animal, focal point, and area of interest. Well, what am I talking about there? As you remember our lecture before, we took an important part out of our animal. So here's my large parrot, right? We took out a section right here. If you took out another section, that's fine. I found that my focal point, I want it to be mostly that eye. So this is the area that I'm focused on. Some of you have already created your underpainting, okay? You turned that in successfully last week. And some of you have already started adding color instead of doing an underpainting. Our underpainting is what? When we show values from what, guys? Someone else. So values from what? What is the underpainting? Yes, showing values from what? Light to what? Dark. Excellent. So most of you have already done that part. Now what we're going to do is we're starting to apply our color. And if you didn't choose to do the underpainting part, you've already started with the color. Now, I thought of starting my painting off with example number 3. Okay, this is the split complementary colors: yellow, orange, okay, violet, and blue. I wanted to show you guys, first of all, how to do the highlights, because some of you have your paint colors there, but you haven't really expressed the lighter values, the really, really bright values. So when I look at my parrot in the eye, I can see, well, my highlight obviously is going to be just white by itself for the eye. That's inside. But if I'm using yellow orange, I want to keep white on my brush. As you see here, I'm going to grab some of that yellow. Is everybody watching? And then I'm going to do just a drop of that orange, no, red. And I'm going to make myself a very, very, very light yellow orange. Well, this one that I just mixed, it has more orange, so I need a little more yellow in there. Oh, gorgeous. I'm going to take a little more white now. And I have such a pale yellow orange here that is going to be accurate to one of the values in my parrot eye. And that value is going right around. I don't want to use that brush. Make sure you're using the brush that is accurate to the space. So I had to get a lighter one. I want to go around the surface of my eye. Okay, around the surface of my eye, because I see that there is a light value around the eye of the parrot. You need to make sure that the 3 split complementary colors that you're using, everyone, you are adding white to make a highlight of the color that you're choosing. But you cannot use any color just by itself, can you? You have to use the what? Split complementary colors, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm bringing it right back around. Paying attention to where I want these really light highlights to show. So that yellow orange is looking great right here in that eye. If you can't see it as well, it's the video. So now I'm going to go a tad darker with that value, keeping the colors that I started with, but I added a look. It died. Yeah, I took it off. So that's why I'm telling you what I'm mixing. So I added just a little more of the red and the yellow on. And you wouldn't believe that was a full battery pack. So that lets me know I need to buy a whole nother battery for this camera.
Do you want me to turn in my reference picture that I used?
Please do. That's a good thing that you just said. So I do want you guys to make sure that you turn in your sketches with your final painting. And if it's not already on Google Classroom, some of you already have it on Google Classroom, so I don't have to look, because you've been resubmitting each time you have completed a step, and that's really good. So now you notice that I'm still using the same colors for my split complementary. I'm just adding white to some areas, and I'm adding more red if I want it to be darker. Okay, so that's what you need to be doing. Do not just have the 3 colors that you chose, your 3 split complementary colors, on the painting without having some brighter highlights by adding white, and then some darker highlights by adding black. So let's go into our darker values. And I'm going to put that darker value in the pupil of my eye. Do we have any questions so far? No? Okay. So let me look at value at my split complementary chart. I have blue and violet that I can choose from, right? Guess what I'm going to do, y'all? Okay, and at this time, most of you can start painting and keep painting while I'm demonstrating. And just look up when you can, because this part, most of you already got down, even remote students. You already successfully know how to add darker colors. But some of you are skipping out on those bright colors. I think you're scared to use lighter values. So what I did here is I mixed, ooh, that's pretty. I mixed my blue and my violet together to give me a dark value for the split complementary colors. So yes, I can use these colors, my violet and my blue, okay? And I mixed them together. You can use one, but I didn't want you to. I want you to show me that you have the skills to mix your split complementary colors. That's what it's all about. Showing me and showing yourself mostly that you know how to mix and create colors with just those 3 split complementary colors. All right. Now I'm going to switch over to my smaller brush because I really need to get in those small spaces, right? Now, what if I wanted to make this blue violet here, this blue and this violet, lighter? I could do that, no problem. I'm going to take my white and put it next to that blue, and I'm going to make myself a light blue color. And I'm going to choose on my parrot where that value would lay. I think it lays really nicely in the corner of the parrot's eye. And if you're having a hard time, again, choosing where you lay your colors by its value, then you can turn your painting that you're working on, your reference photo, into black and white. And we've discussed that several times, haven't we? This, doing the values first and just using one color from dark to light, helps you to establish the color values and where you want to lay them down. So it's just not about, oh, I'm just doing this just because. There is a reason for every step that we do. I like the way that light blue lays off into there. So now I want you to make sure on your painting, when I walk around in a little bit, I want to be able to see that you are emphasizing your really light values next to your darker values. When is this painting due? Friday. Yes, it is. We've been working on this for how many weeks? 3 weeks. And everybody at this point should be at a point where they're finishing up adding the highlights, adding the white to their colors.
Can I add water to make it light?
You can for your ink. And that's AP. He just asked a question about his ink. So that's not for you guys. Adding too much water to your acrylic paint is not a good idea. Most of you are not using watercolors for this painting here. Some of you are. And if you are, then you're using more water than what? Paint. That's a whole different medium. Okay, so now I'm still coming in and I'm expressing those really, really, really light values. I'm going to come in right here with that light. I wish I did. I do not. You want to check with Miss Phillips?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. All right. So let's check. We don't have anybody so far that has a question on our live chat. So later on, you guys, if you end up with a question and you're remote, Remember, you can send it to my email, okay? Or you can submit this painting to Google Classroom with the question so that I can see the painting as you are working on it. So now what I'm doing is I am taking my dark values and placing them where they belong. I am still sticking with my split complementary colors. And this small brush, remember, use a small brush for your small details, especially hair. The hair is very important. Do we have a question so far in class, guys? Y'all are being super quiet. Nope. All right, let's keep it going. And I'm going to lay down some of these darker values. Then I'm going to come to you for your individual critiques.
You did not have one.
She did, oh, I'm sorry. Huh? What'd you say?
I said it's fine, I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sorry, Beth.
It's okay. Sherman, this might be the week that I finally drop out.
You will not drop out. Stop threatening me. I take that personal.
It's this, I just like, move on.
You're not going anywhere, lady.
Oh, no.
So right here is where I decided to add more red. Oh, I wish you could, if that red is showing up in that violet, you can really see where I'm adding it in. And am I really going with the colors of this parrot reference? No, I'm not. Because the colors of this parrot reference has nothing to do with my choice of split complementary colors, right?
Right.
So I can lay my colors wherever I want as far as the value. So what I did was I mixed my red and my violet together because yes, that is a split complementary choice that I have. And I'm starting now to add that where I want it to be. That color. Ooh. Something about red violet really makes any dark color really pop out. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah.
You sure you did? Good. Now I'm going to take some white and mix it with my red violet. Let's test that theory out, shall we? Oh, yes. And the next thing, the very last thing, and then I'll go off live, is I need you to pay attention to the direction that the hairs are going on your animal. Pay attention to the what? Oh, I love y'all. Y'all listening good.
Y'all is this.
I know. Well, there was that day.
Miss Sherman, there are probably a lot of days.
For you, yes, because you being deep in your painting. So, I am laying in the direction of the lighter values. I decided to take the white and mix it with my red violet. Okay, so I can choose to put my blue and my white together. If this thing wouldn't have went dead, y'all would be so blown with this palette that I have of so many different colors. But I'm making it work because I need those colors. Okay. So you can see how I'm still using my thinner brush, but I'm going to switch over now to the medium-sized brush. Why? Because I need to fill in these empty spaces. Those empty spaces, I want to have more white on my palette. Because I barely want to put some color into my white, only to tint it. Do not, let me repeat myself twice for this one. Do not have white by itself in your painting except for the highlighted area. That will be the eye, that little white highlight in the eye, or if it's somewhere else on your painting. But mostly every light area I'm going to say it, will have some color in it. It might be so little and so faint that you barely see that color and it appears to be white. So now I'm laying that down, but check it out. There is a hint of blue in this white that I'm adding in to my parrot. It's just barely white there, color, but it's still some mostly white. I'm gonna put a little more blue in that white. Okay. Pay attention to the shapes. What's up?
Is it okay if we let, if like, we get to a good stopping point today, and we let the layer dry and come back and finish it on Friday?
It depends on what medium you're using, what you're using. Oils. Huh?
Watercolor.
No, you don't need to wait. No, ma'am. Because what I'm saying is that watercolors dry too fast for you to do just a small spot and then wait till Friday to do the rest.
I've done the whole thing, but I'm layering color
I'll be
on
on.
top of more color,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to like overload the paper.
All right, I'm gonna come over there. I'll be there in a minute. Yeah, we got blow dryers. Damn, Miss Phillips stole them. She didn't want you to mention that, hon. Oh, she just put you out like that. All right.
You know who didn't say upperclassmen? You did say tech. How is an upperclassman? No, but
So I'm going to stop right here, guys, because at this point, I would have to really focus in and add a lot of details, okay, to finish out my tropical bird. But you can get the point at this stage of how you need to make sure that you're choosing to add all the split complementary colors in the correct spot. And I have to go in and do fine tune all of this so that it don't look like one big mesh of color. It's like I want to keep painting. Once I start, I don't want to stop. All right, Beth, get it to a point so that when I come over there, I can. Jalen, are you okay? That's going to make more sense when I take the tape off, okay? But right now, that tape is there. I really want that to be even darker. Probably gonna put black over that. Okay. Finish up on your paintings, remote students. Make sure that you have all your split complementary colors in, darker areas and lighter areas. I'm going to continue to work on this, and I will post my finished painting and by Friday, and you will finish yours and post yours by Friday, 3 p.m. Not after. 10 points taken off for each day that you submit this, and this have already been in the instructions. 3 weeks working on this, you don't get that extra day because it's been 3 weeks already. 21 days to be exact. All right. If you have questions, send me